It finishes then at Manchester City 2, Chelsea 0. Don, I know you're keeping a close eye on this game. Inevitably, here in the States, Christian Pulisic is a big talking point. Those who are a big advocate of him suggest there's bias because he's American. Mason Mount, English is preferred. Obviously, when he has these opportunities, is it the fact that he doesn't have a consistent run in this team and is just rushing everything and is looking to prove himself? Or is he not at the standard that he needs to be to play for Chelsea?
I think there's an element of both what you said there, Dan. I think when you're not playing and you're not getting consistent games and you're not churning out the games, you feel under pressure to try and do something magical and do something special. At the same time, when he does get his opportunity, I don't think he's ruthless enough to play in that position where, I mean, to be fair to him, he's playing left wing back, he's playing right wing back. He wants to play as a number 10. He's not as good as as good as Mason Mount. So he's not going to get that slot. So he's got to try and fit in anywhere just to get the game time. I don't see a ruthless finisher. He's got lots of good attributes, I think, Christian Pulisic. I think his attitude's good. He's got good movement. His balance is decent. But when you get him close to goal, it's almost like panic stations. He just doesn't go calm in that situation. And I feel for him because he's going through it. And you showed the chance there. I mean, the chance was so easy. All you had to do was slot it in one of the corners. And when you see the footage again, he didn't even hit the target. So you can see that he's under pressure and he's panicking.
I mean, talked about this guy till the cows come home. I think ultimately Chelsea will move him on if there's takers at the right price, and I think there will be, but it won't be teams that are going for the top stuff. And I think he might find his level there and more game time. Which, listen, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I mean, I think I don't know about Shaq, and Don, but I think certainly Don, because he moved around a lot of clubs and wanted to play. And it's important to play. It's important to play for your own career, for your sanity, because it is frustrating. Training and playing the odd game and then being on the bench and then having an injury and blah, blah, blah. And so I think for his own sanity, clearly I think he's got a lot of big choices to make. And ultimately I think the best scenario for me is for him to move on, be it in the Premier League or back to the Bundesliga or wherever it is. But somewhere he's going to play. Right. And if he goes to that somewhere he's going to play and doesn't play, he can only look at himself.
What if he was given a run in this team? 5 straight starts. That's got to make a difference, surely.
I'm sorry. I can't keep taking this Pulisic baton and running with it. Chelsea have better players, right? Whether people want to hear that or not, they have better players. It's been proven by the team selection under this manager, even though he's only in the door, and the previous 2 managers. And I'm sorry for going back to this, but if we keep talking about Christian Pulisic, I'm going to have to keep going back to it. He wasn't playing regular at Borussia Dortmund before he made this big money move to Chelsea. There's a pattern here, right? And the player needs to find his level. That's only my opinion. There'll be many this side of the pond who think he's the second coming of Messi. He's not, right? He's not. And he needs to find his level to get game time. And I think that is down a rung or 2 in the Premier League or somewhere else. That's not a terrible thing. If it was, say, West Ham, who are not having a good season, I've thrown them out before. Last year, West Ham, Lingard goes there. I think it was last year. Yeah. Lingard goes, I think it was last year. Because he
season
can't.
Before.
All right, whenever it was. He goes there because he can't get any game time and his career's whittling away and he's no longer in the England team and he goes to a team that are not expected to do a great deal. They have a great season and he's the fulcrum of what they're doing well. That's what I think somebody like Pulisic needs to do. Not sit in his backside so we can talk about him every other day because he's not playing. It's not helping anybody, including my sanity.
I'll be honest, I'm in total agreement, and I'm surprised that he didn't move this summer, and I can't help but wonder if it's more about Chelsea's ownership and what was going on there with everything being in flux as to why he wasn't allowed to leave Stamford Bridge. But from all other things being even, from purely a footballing standpoint, it really doesn't make any sense for Christian Pulisic to continue at Chelsea as he has. I'm in total agreement with Craig.
Why was you grinning away when we were chatting away there?
I was just smiling in general.
No, I thought the producer
no one's talking.
was a Tottenham fan.
No.
And I thought I might just throw in there Tottenham because they don't win anything either.
No,
just to upset them or something like that.
Just upset
He's not allowed to talk to me about this show. Don, overall, that's 3 defeats in a row now for Chelsea.
Yeah, no wins in 4. They weren't great against Brentford, got battered against Brighton, lost really poorly, I thought, against Arsenal. Do you know what I don't see in this Chelsea side, Dan? I don't see any stardust in its side. I see a lot of good players like Christian Pulisic, like Ziyech, like Havertz, like Sterling, like Aubameyang. I don't see any stardust. When you look around the league and you mention Harry Kane and Mo Salah and Erling Haaland and Alvarez scoring goals, you can even look at Leicester and think Maddison, stardust, Newcastle, Bruno Guimaraes. There's stardust all around the Premier League. I look at Chelsea and I just think they're a good side with good players, but the way they're going out the bottom, the top 4. They're going backwards. They're going out the way. And there's a lot of horses that's going to catch them up pretty quickly if Graham Potter's not careful.
That's down to recruitment, though, is it? But I suppose in some sense, Don, Graham Potter has to find a solution. You know how they've got before they head to the World Cup?
Newcastle.
We were
St.
talking
James's
about
Park.
it earlier. I mean, they are arguably the informed team in the Premier League, Don. I mean, the last thing he needs is to get another walloping before half his team leave for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And that could happen. That could happen.
Easily.
You know, I mean, he's playing a back 5 and he has Cucurella on the left side of a 3. And I think for 5 games in a row, he didn't take him off tonight, but 5 games in a row, he's either took him off or went back to a 4 and either played him at left back. So why not just start with the back 4? He seems... I don't want to say, I don't want to be mean to Graham Potter because I really like him and I think he deserved the big chance. I wonder if there's an element that he's trying a little bit too hard to please by showing that he's a good tactician, because his tactics and his personnel and his systems since he's got there have been really wild and really weird.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.